Hey everyone, Tracy Wisnowski here of DustinandTracy.com, and are you someone who struggles with building rapport with your prospects? Well, stick around because in today's video I'm going to share with you 5 of the most common mistakes that people make which could ultimately be sabotaging your chances of signing up new reps and bringing new customers into your business. So stick around. Okay, so let's talk about mistake number 1, and that is having a hidden agenda. There is nothing that screams desperation in sales more than someone having a hidden agenda in a conversation. Your prospects will always feel that energy and notice it right off the bat if you are going into conversations with the pure intention to sell them on something. People will always be able to read your energy, read your language, and know that that's all that you're trying to do. And so if you feel like you're having a lot of conversations with people and they're not really going anywhere, and you go back and you look at those conversations and you notice, you know what, maybe I do come across as immediately trying to sell them on something. Well, you want to start to look into that, and you want to start to realize that this isn't about selling every single person you talk to on your product or service. At the end of the day, this is a relationship business, and so you just want to go out there with the pure intention of making new relationships. And it's through that relationship, through getting to know someone, through asking questions, that you're going to be able to find out if they're even a fit for your business. Because if they're not, then there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to ever present them or promote your opportunity to them. Mistake number 2 is talking too much, right? And the way that you get away from talking too much, because you never want to make the conversation about yourself. People don't care about you. They don't care about your product. They don't care about any of that. They care that you care about them. And so the way that you get around that, the way that you stop talking about yourself so much and start being able to listen to them, is through asking questions, really getting to know them. Ask good questions and you'll get good answers, and you'll keep the conversation going. But when you talk too much about yourself, you're just going to lead to a dead-end conversation, and it's going to go nowhere. You probably had some of those stale conversations with people before where it just kind of kerplunk, it just ends. The conversation's over. And that's simply because you either stopped asking questions about them, you stopped being interested about them, and you spent too much time focusing on yourself, your own intentions, and what you were there for in that conversation. So definitely talk less, listen more. Mistake number 3 is being too scripted. Now, I'm the first to tell you that I absolutely love scripts. I think scripts are a great way to get and keep a conversation going. They're a great way to dig deeper, get to know your prospect, get to know their pain points, and I absolutely recommend using them. But you never want to go through a conversation just saying script after script, question after question. You want to make sure that you have a natural flow, that you're really having a conversation with people. So if you have a script to follow, you want to have fillers. You want to really be going with the flow of that conversation. Some questions on your script might not ever apply to the conversation that you're having. So what I like to do is I like to use scripts just as like a guide. I like to use them as a way to keep a conversation going. So if there's ever a point in the conversation where I'm like, where do I go next with this? What should I ask next? That's where I would use the script. But I would never just go into a conversation going question after question after question, because like I said, people will see right through that. If the only thing that you're doing is asking questions that they've probably heard a million times, then they're going to turn it off right away. They're not going to listen anymore. They're not going to be open anymore to hearing what you have to say. And so use scripts as a guide and use them in a way that just flows naturally with your conversation. And a lot of times that just comes at the end of every time that you're speaking back to someone. You usually can incorporate part of that script in there. But definitely just go with the flow of the conversation, be natural, and have lots of fillers so that your script doesn't come off as super robotic. Mistake number 4 is not doing your research on the prospect. So how many of you have had people just pop up in your inbox on Facebook and they maybe ask one question, hey, how are you? And then they immediately go into talking about their business opportunity, or they ask you something obvious that's right in your profile itself. Or they literally didn't take the time to go to your blog or to your Facebook page or to your YouTube to find out exactly what you're about and maybe how successful you already are. If you've ever had people do that, you know what it feels like to be the person on the other end, to have someone who literally didn't even take the time to get to know the most basic things about you so that they don't look silly asking you questions that they have that information already available to them. And so my advice is, If you're prospecting on Facebook, make sure you go to the person's profile, look at where they're from, look through their pictures, get a vibe for them. Don't be super creepy and go bring up some memory from 5 years ago on their profile. But when it comes to things that they're sharing about business, like, hey, I liked that quote that you shared, or you just had a really great blog post that I read on your page, things like that, tuning into their content and bringing up things that, relate to what you're talking about, don't seem creepy, but it also shows that you really did do your research on them and that you do genuinely care about the relationship that you're building. And the final one, mistake number 5, and this one is a biggie, and it's simply not practicing enough. So the only way that you can get better at building rapport and prospecting is by simply doing it enough times where it becomes second nature to you. In the beginning, it might feel super awkward having conversations. It might be super awkward, going through scripts and figuring out how to apply it to your conversations and all that stuff. But the more that you do it, the more comfortable you become, and soon enough, you won't need the scripts because this is just going to be part of your conversation flow. You're just going to be able to naturally go along in conversations with people because you do it all the time. It's just like any other skill that you learn. When you learn how to ride a bike or play a sport or play an instrument, the more that you do that thing, the better you will become. And so if that's you, and you're struggling right now to build rapport with people, be sure to just keep practicing. Don't get down on yourself just because you don't sign someone up in the first 5, 10, even 20 conversations. Heck, it could take hundreds. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you have your purpose set, you know what you're going after, just keep practicing until it becomes natural enough to you that you start to see the results. And that wraps up the 5 rapport building mistakes that I see most people making, same mistakes that I myself have made and even at times continue to make once in a blue moon. And so if that's you, then I encourage you just keep practicing, follow what I shared today. If you found value, please pass this along to any team members who you think might find value themselves. And if you're looking for more great tips and strategies to build your business online, be sure to head over to dustinandtracy.com, check out all the free content we have on our blog, as well as opt into our newsletter where we send out lots of value-packed emails throughout the week to really help you build a strong business online. And with that, guys, I'll see you on the next video.